is Brittany. So it's been a while, but I'm back and I am going to make sure that I'm going to do more and that there'll be more videos to see because, of course, I just, love and enjoy doing these videos, whether if it's about movies, dreams, quiz videos, or anything like that. I just enjoy it, so I'll make sure that you'll see more of that for sure. So, with that being said and all, today's going to be a movie review, and today I'll be reviewing The Ghost in the Darkness, and it's directed by Stephen Hopkins, written by William Goldman, based on the book The Man-Eaters of Salvo, written by John Henry Patterson, and the music score by Jerry Goldsmith. And this is like a really great movie. Like, for those who haven't seen it, you should really check it out because this is in fact based on a true story. It's based on true events that really did happen, and John Henry Patterson himself, who was in Africa at the time in 1898, when this was going on, he in fact written his experiences of what happened in his book. And so it was someone, I think it was the producer who went to Africa in the 1980s. So when he heard about this story, he thought it would make a great movie. So that's how the movie came to be. Because, I think he got, of course, a lot of people involved working on the movie, like working on the script and everything. So yeah, and that's how the movie came to be. And it was released on October 11th, 1996. So it says here, the film received mixed reviews and was considered a box office disappointment, having grossed only $75 million against a production budget of $55 million. It won the Academy Award for Best Sound Editing for supervising sound editor Bruce Stambler. Gee. Now that I would have to disagree. I mean, just because it may not have been maybe that successful at the box office, I would not call it that really, because I actually grew up watching this quite young. And yes, even though it was, scary to watch, at such a young age, but at the same time, I think I was just okay with it, like, I remember being scared of those certain parts, but at the same time, like, I was just fine with it, because it's not like you see it all the time, like some parts you do, but, for most of the part, you just see the rest of the story and the characters, interacting with each other, and you see what's going on. And so yeah, so Val Kilmer, he plays the character based on the real person of John Henry Patterson himself, and it shows how, he goes out there and to work on this bridge out there. But of course there is a real bridge out there, a real picture of it. I don't know if you're hearing that, but there's a car and it's being loud. I think it's the engine. yeah, the car engine is just being very loud. And from what I've also read is that you know that guy at the beginning, how he instructed John Patterson to go out there to build the bridge, and you know how he was just like very mean, and we're saying these mean things. Like I won't repeat the things he said because it was just mean and very offensive. So I won't repeat the things that that guy said. But I've actually read somewhere that that character never really existed. That no one really instructed the real John Patterson to go to Africa to work on the bridge. That no one really instructed him to do that. Not even with this particular mean uptight character. That was just something that a made up character for the movie. I think to only make it seem a bit more believable that he was instructed to go to Africa to work on the bridge. You know, I think to finish it, but yeah, I think it only made it seem like somewhat believable. Like, okay, he was told um, by this guy, like, um, to go out there and build on the bridge, but no such character instructed him to do so. I think it was pretty much him that he wanted to go out there himself. So it was by his own doing and by nobody else. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I don't like that character just because he seems, like just very mean. Like he doesn't care about anything or anyone but himself. He's so like uptight and just very selfish and bossy. So I would say that I don't know the actor that plays him. Like forgive me, I don't. But I would just say this: the actor who plays that character, I mean, good job with that. Cause yeah, I would say he did a good job with that only because the way he played his character was not so likable. So it's like it just made me not like that character. So it's like, ugh. If you know which character I'm talking about. And then of course, um, Michael Douglas plays a fictional character, a character that was not based on a real life person, but a completely fictionalized character. Um, but nonetheless, still a great character um, in this movie of the story. And between both of their performances, they did work really well together. So I just like loved seeing their performances in the movie. So yeah, so of course what happens is that, you know, at some point when John Patterson does go out to Africa to build on the bridge, of course, that's when some things were going on, and so now when he was hearing about that of this lion attack, of course he was able to kill it with one shot. But just when you think, oh, he already killed it, okay, that was fast, that seemed easy, but that wasn't the one. Like that could have been just some ordinary lion minding his own business, but there were two of them that were far worse than the one that he killed at the very beginning of the movie. And so of course just when he's also trying to do his work of building the bridge and making sure that it gets done soon, And of course, you can see how he's also having a good time out there because he has mentioned how he always wanted to go to Africa. And so you can tell that when he gets there, he's excited, and that, you know, so it seems like he is enjoying his time out there. But then with this whole lion thing happened, it's like, okay, we have an issue. But like I said, the one he killed earlier was not the one that we see through the rest of the movie, because there are two of them that were far worse. And so, of course, and at some point, while he's there trying to work on this bridge, at some point we do see that it does seem to get worse, because just when we see one, somehow we see two, and then we realize there's not just one, there's two of them. And so at some point when this is getting worse and when there's more lion attacks going on, so some of them actually believe that ever since he came along, that's when all these bad things were happening because of him. And so, and of course, it was easy for them to blame him just because he was a newcomer, and it was his first time out there, and to build on this bridge. But yet it was like somehow just so easy for them to blame of these unfortunate events on him. So it's like, no, that's not his fault. Like, just because he arrived when this was happening had nothing to do with him being there. I think it just somehow happened that way, like, because sometimes things happen that way where, just because if you happen to do something, or if you happen to be at a certain place at a certain time, but then this other thing happens, that doesn't mean it had to do with that person. It was just the timing, and like really bad timing of this unfortunate thing to happen when this person happened to be there, so. But then, of course, when this one particular character was really blaming on him about these unfortunate events onto Val Kilmer, on his character, that's when Michael Douglas's character, Charles Remington, shows up, and of course, I think you can say he kind of talks to him in a way, but also like kind of gives him a piece of his mind. So yeah, so I think that went well. But then of course it shows how he shows up somewhat later in the movie, but it shows how he's gonna help Val Kilmer's character to hunt down and kill these lions. And so, yeah. So of course, and like I said, so just seeing their performances and how they work together in this movie was just really great. And honestly, I would say this is a very underrated film, because I don't think a lot of people knows about it, and I don't think it's quite recognizable either. But yeah, for those who would want to see this, it is, like I said, it is a great film. So yeah, definitely check it out. And of course, I'm not gonna say what happens at the ending, because for those who do know, we know how the movie ends. But for those who want to see it, I am not gonna say what happens. The rest of the movie, I'm not gonna say the rest. I'm not gonna spoil it, because if you want to see it and check it out yourself, that is completely fine. Please do so, because I'm not gonna spoil what does or doesn't happen. So yeah. But yeah, I will say that yeah, watching this at a young age, like I said, certain parts did scare me, but not all of it. And plus, I think, but of course, even later, I think as I got older and realizing that it was based on a true story, I was like, whoa, okay, that really makes it more scary, than I thought. I think the sun's going down. I'm not sure, but I think it could be the clouds blocking the sun. I'm not sure. Okay, hey now, just a sec. Oh, I think that was coming through. So yes, like I said, it's such a very underrated film. I don't think it gets talked about enough, and I don't think a lot of people do know about it. But for those who do, um, yeah, for those who do, it's like how good and great it is because, like, even because even at times when I do watch it, like it's just really great to watch. With everything like the performances and even the music score, like it really adds to it. It just really adds to the scary parts of the movie and the intensity, and the suspense of it. So yeah, I think everything about it just turned out great. And of course, I did do a fun fact video on it. So if you want to check that out to learn facts on the movie, please do so. And before I go, I do want to say that recently, I would say probably a month ago, I actually had a dream about the movie. Like one specific part. It was very specific. I won't really talk about it here, but I'm just gonna mention real quick that there was one particular part that I dreamt about, that something that I thought could have been changed, or maybe what could have been somewhat different. And I think I dreamt about this on because there was one part of the movie I didn't like, and somehow I thought, well, if that didn't happen, that this could have happened. So I think somehow in my unsubconscious mind, that I think that was on my mind, and I think somehow I end up dreaming about this one particular scene, like what could have happened if this scene didn't happen. And I know I'm not being specific on the scene itself, but that's because I'm gonna say it for a dream time video, which I will do soon. How soon? I don't know. But yes, this is such a really great movie, and I do enjoy watching it, when I do watch it, and it's just one of those movies where, you do feel like the really tense parts of it, and then when you see what's going on, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is horrible, and then of course you get these really great performances as well, so it's like it really draws you in. So it's just really great. So I would say my rating on the movie would be um, an A. Um, okay. I would say 8.9 out of 10. And I would definitely go with 87%. And with I would say 4 stars. Yeah. So that is my rating on the movie. And so, as I mentioned, for those who haven't seen it but you would like to see it, I highly recommend it and watch it and see how you may like it. And and for those who have seen it and whether you like it, um, or even if it's your favorite, let me know, because I certainly grew up watching this movie, and yet I still like the movie. You know, it's just really great, and so yeah, like I said, it's completely underrated. So I think it it's just one of those movies that really needs to be talked about and needs to be recognized for how great of a film that it is and everything about it, like everything that went into it that needs to be talked about, because I don't think it's been talked about enough, honestly. So that is all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.